like African, and the next prefer East Indian. But this way of choosing leaders is a disgrace. Yeah, why? Because a leader must help his country to rise.
A good leader,
be able to motivate and then mobilize.
a good leader,
And a leader must be one whose vision is clear, holding ethics and integrity.
a good leader.
Oh yes, a leader should be humble and polite, not wrapped up in ego, arrogant, always picking fight, not a tyrant or a dictator. That is not what this country needs. That will only make my nation lead. His first goal should be service, not self-advancement or greed. Blessed is the one who was born to lead. Oh, good leaders are born not bred, setting standards is get tread. Blessed is the one who was born to lead. A mentor, a teacher, a trainer. Experience is their greatest tool. Should be discerning, yet forever learning. One who doesn't gladly suffer fools. And in a world that loves a maximum leader, we must know when to let go and delegate. Must be the most able of his peers, not driven by petty fears. And though he can, don't always dominate. Because a leader must be blessed with wisdom also.
A good leader,
Oh, when to take in front and when to follow.
a good leader,
And a leader must be the one to set the template. So those coming after could duplicate.
a good leader,
Oh yes, a leader should be humble and polite, not wrapped up in ego, arrogant, always picking fight, not someone seduced by flattery. That is not what this country needs. Not stumbling about like a tumbleweed. His heart should beat with courage, not be coward or weak need. Blessed. Good leaders are born not bred. Being a mentor is their trade. Blessed is the one who was born to lead. We don't want someone always thinking small. No, no.
no, 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 that's not a leader at all.
At all, at all. One who always booze, drinking alcohol. No, no,
No, that's not a leader at all.
At all, no Casanova, always chasing skirts. No, no,
Leader at all.
at all, and if it's the treasury that they out to hurt. My,
No, 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 that's not a leader at all.
my. Huh, Whoa, we don't want that. We can't handle that. Whoa, a leader, we don't want that. We can't handle that. A trickster, a con man, a hustler. We don't need someone specialized in fraud, but want to be respected and never rejected. Here at home and especially abroad. They don't have to be a lawyer or doctor. Their first degree should be common sense. And when it's time to decide, you cannot run, you cannot hide. A firm stand he must take, don't sit on the fence. Because a leader mustn't drift like sinking sand. By the courage of his convictions, he should stand.
A good leader,
And a leader can't bend with every wind that passes.
good leader,
So his values and principles hold seduced by flattery. That is not what this nation needs. We don't need another trumpet, indeed. Should be stable with family values, not looking for young girls to breed. Blessed. Good leaders are born, not made. Setting standards is their trade.
Blessed is the one who was born to
lead. Good leaders are born, not made. Lifting up others is their trade. Blessed
is the one who was born to
lead. Yes, good leaders are born, not made. Leaving us better off is their trade. Blessed is the one who was born to lead. Thank you.
Hundreds of members of the trade union movement showed their dissatisfaction on Friday as they reject the government's 4% offer to public sector workers, show solidarity with water and sewage authority workers, and several other unresolved issues. Under the watchful eyes of the police, the three overarching labor unions, the National Trade Union Center, the Joint Trade Union Movement, and the Federation of Independent Trade Unions, led their members through the streets of Port-of-Spain. President of the Public Services Association, Leroy, said what the government is proposing as a settlement will also deprive retirees from getting an increase. Senator James Lambert and General Secretary of the Joint Trade Union Movement, Michael Anisette, echoed similar sentiments, calling on members not to get wary. The president of the Oilfield Workers Trade Union hinted that this is just the start of something bigger by the labor movement, until they get the desired results.
That you are facing a big crisis, that you have to send your children to school, that you are equal to anybody else. Your life and the 1% life is just as important. Nobody more important than you. And you see, to have a decent standard of living, 4% can't do that. What would be 5% can't do that.
Chief Personnel Officer Dr. Darrell Dindial has told the trade unions he would convey their concerns to the Minister of Finance, Colum Imbert, and get back to them with a response.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Venison Jeffrey, and this is the Workers' Rights Platform. We are broadcasting live on the Workers' Rights Network. Today is the 1st of September 2025. And as promised, as time permits, today we are going to break down this 10% heists that have been perpetrated on members of the working class in Trinidad and Tobago. Many of you forget the promise or are trying to say we didn't say that in the technical sense now. And that was not the promise that was promised to the working class before April 28th. So good evening to everybody, everyone that is tuned in on our various platforms, that is on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. Good afternoon to everyone. Good afternoon to everyone. I know this today is a very much unorthodox time that we would have chosen a matter of fact, to present this video. But to the many of you outside there that is public servant, this video is very important to you this afternoon. And why I'm saying that? At no point in time that any government, any trade union leader, whether it be the PSA, whether it be the OWTU, whether it be Big U, whether it be NATUC, whether it be the whole trade union body within Trinidad and Tobago, or government, and they lie to you, the population, as to attain power, lying on campaign trail, lying to attain power, is not a strategy. It is a betrayal. And I want some of you to put on a seatbelt here this afternoon and buckle up and go on this ride here, because the truth must be spoken and somebody had to speak it, even if it come to the factor that they really succeed. Because yes, to the many of you that would have reached out, yes, they would have made threats. It's a living threat, a matter of fact. They would have made threats. But what I am doing here is just revealing the information that is necessary. I put in the foot in the door. And there are many of you that is listening to this broadcast, this podcast here. The time is 12:15, that need to come in the same door that I opening my foot in. Putting my foot in to keep it open, or you need to march through the door. It mustn't be a joke again. 100 days pass, and many of the right thinking or the sound thinking citizens that is outside here have been saying certain things before the election, and none of you would have ever take grasp as to what is taking place here in this country. And why I am particularly angry with some of the statements that is being made is that the trade union movement was built on the sweat, tears, and blood of certain individuals. Of you, a matter of fact, let me don't play no game with you. It was built on you, the worker. For what? For joint representation. For joint representation. Because it was foretold that you can't do it alone. Nobody can do it alone. No man is an island. So we come together and we form a body, and we reshape the working culture within Trinidad and Tobago. But the new day politician that it have in this country, the now come union leaders in this country would have taken advantage of your sweat. Because the average man, we ain't working for much. The average salary within Trinidad and Tobago is bordering $5,000. And you have to work real hard for that. So without further ado, on the last broadcast, we would have spelled out some definitions outside here. Definitional retreat and hedging. And we would have shown you the breakdown of where the deception would have started off. And there are two more definitions that you must know, that is critical to decoding the information today on this broadcast that we must go into. We didn't come prepared with that slide. hyperbolic discounting. So before we go into that, let me come with the definitional retreat. Let me just put it up on the screen because you see, I want all you to follow me this afternoon, the members of the public. Definitional retreat. A definitional retreat happens when someone changes the definition of a word or concept in mid-argument to protect their claim from being proven wrong. Instead of admitting defeat, they retreat to a new, narrow, or altered definition. First definition that you must pay attention to. And a liar have no memory. They don't have no memory. They just come in to fool you for what? For money. To get a better position. To do what? To go on flights, to eat curry goat in the Hilton and a cold stag and laugh and saying what I'm holy for, but behind the counter, behind the table, these nasty, stinking union leaders and them that never had your best interests at heart. No retreat, no surrender. I would have telling you and how you're marching around all day with placard all over Port of Spain, all outside T and Tech. Some of them would have been so disrespectful within the past few weeks of now attaining any office in this country through the Labre constituents. The first time ever that the UNC would have won Labre, but the union leader that was elected would have been so disrespectful to some of you within this area that he say, oh yeah, the CPEP workers is collateral damage. Yes, I heard it, you know? And I dress back and I listen to some of the content that have been playing. Yes, we would have been ongoing, and bringing information to you within the public domain all the time, every time. But sometimes it does get a little weak and I dress back and we try to change the whole concept of the show. But at the same time, it's not your phone, Mr. Minister. Collateral damage minister is being called because you have people to screen your call. And the people of this constituency, and by extension Trinidad and Tobago, some of them cannot buy books. I tell her, hey, this evening I ain't playing. I ain't playing.
First Peter chapter 3 verses 8 to 12. Finally, all of you, be like-minded, be sympathetic, love one another, be compassionate and humble. Do not repay evil with evil or insult with insult. On the contrary, repay evil with blessing, because to this you were called, so that you may inherit a blessing. For whoever would love life and see good days must keep their tongue from evil and their lips from deceitful speech. They must turn from evil and do good. They must seek peace and pursue it. For the eyes of the Lord are on the righteous, and his ears are attentive to their prayers. But the face of the Lord is against those who do evil.
Union leader, Mr. Clyde Elder, comes publicly as a minister in a government and says that the workers are collateral damage. Hard luck.
At this point in the day, unfortunately, because of what we had, because of the collateral damage,
Mr. Clyde Elder comes publicly as a minister in a government and says that the workers are collateral damage. hard luck.
Former civic workers say they remain in limbo following the termination of over 300 contracts.
Landlord coming by the door. Landlord knocking on your door. You can't afford to pay rent. They put in all your stuff on the side of the road. That is an embarrassment.
They say that will be rehab, but when? If you could tell me again 1 month salary, after that 1 month salary, what you'll be telling me again?
I want to know when will we get back the secret book and how soon and how sure this is for us. Because, you know,
This blame of parents for the scourge of crime. I could have never thought, not for a moment, that when you elect a government and you pay your taxes, that somehow it will become unreasonable to expect them to secure your life and your property. I would have thought that your security was the primary reason for the need of a government. Here what is also true, that there is a correlation between poverty and crime. Therefore, if the government wants to impact crime,
there is a correlation between crime and poverty. The union leader, Leroy Baptiste, before April 25th, and that day was in 2004, Labor Day, March, in Trinidad. And now you in government, Leroy Baptiste, the greatest hypocrite of all. You are now in government and you are nothing to say people going home, workers going home, people who sweating going home. You are nothing to say. Is it that the position that you are now obtained, what you would have just obtained as Labour Minister, more important than anything else in Trinidad and Tobago? Up to 20,000 people could go home and can't buy books. And you're having social media influencers is saying, hey, the UNC giving away books and things. What really going on with some of our here, boy? Some of them, yes, just the other day we called Twiggy on the program and live from here to tongue. They can't himself answer a simple question. How much you working for in Wasa? You can't say $50,000. And I go be, or you go believe anything that Twiggy say, tell her, yeah? Right here, she said. A big liar. Now, over 20,000 people went home. So your career as a union leader, in which you could hinge your entire career on the sweat, the struggles of every single worker, that you just say, boy, you have nothing to say. But this evening here, we are going to break down all this whole thing. We go dissect it here on this program. And all I asking you all is to follow along. Don't take my word for it. Just now there I would have put the first definition on the screen that we must pay attention to. And the first one is definitional retreat. Yes, definitional retreat. The first of the first. Because there are two more that we are going to add to this list here this afternoon for you to understand. And examples of definitional retreat. So this is the example. True patriots always support their government, and they will come at you with this. What we are doing here is building up your resistance to the bullshit that you are going to hear in some of the months coming. So we would assure you, the true patriots always support their government, the counter. But what about when the government is corrupt or oppressive? Many great patriots in history opposes governments like Gandhi against British rule. And here what it has come out and say, well, by patriots I mean someone who support the nation's best interests, not necessarily the government. So pay attention. Pay attention, because they will come with it for you to see. So here the person shift the definition of patriots supporting their government to supporting the nation, as we would have just proven to you. So their argument cannot be proven. That is definitional retreat. So this here is the argument. This here is the argument. So when the person come with the statement, he counter the person, answer it and say, but you know, Gandhi opposed he government against British rule. They say, well, when I mean patriot, they change it one time. They redefine it for you. Up close and personal. And the second one is hedging. Hedging. In logic and argument, hedging is when someone deliberately uses vague, cautious, and non-committal language to avoid making a clear, testable claim. Instead of saying something strongly, they weaken it with words or phrases that leave them an escape route if challenged. So we must put that in your cap. Before we go into the information here today, before we expose the 10% heist of the PSA, the unions and them, and then they put it on a platform for everybody to see, so the records is within the public domain, they would have mount platforms after platforms and tell you we starting this thing here with 10%. And now the behavior about Leroy Baptiste and Falicia Thomas have been exposed. But the average man can't understand it because they're head down and they're focusing on their day-to-day challenges. Just like me. Next, let me go into hedging that you may be able to understand it a little more, because there are two more that we are going to add to the table. Two more definitions. So, example in logic, a strong claim with no hedging. The government is lying about the employment rate. That is strong. That right there is a strong claim that nobody, anytime you test it, you can't run away from that. So the hedging claim, the government is probably not being entirely truthful about the employment rate. So the probably there is the escape route within the sentence. So the hedging version is harder to pin down or falsify, since it allows the speaker to retreat if when proven wrong. Well, I only say probably. So but you have to understand language, you know, and understand when people is saying certain things within the public domain. And I is not the smartest one here in the book. There are other people that know. Ask Selwyn Kojo. Yes, ask him. Oh, you have to understand how deep this thing going in. You see Selwyn Kojo on a board. The UE board. One of the person in Trinidad and Tobago that have been looked at as a man with superior intellect. He know that. He know. And he's quite aware, because logic is something that when you're doing certain studies you must study. So when the government come with certain things and they are saying, well, we will give you it over 2 periods, all these people and them within these board position that we install is to do this and throw away the key. So common words that is used, common words or phrase or hedging phrase, as we just say, probably, maybe, it seems, sort of, kind of, in a sense, as far as I know, to some extent, in God's willing. In God's willing.
It's a vote that the negotiations will start with no less than 10%.
That this 10% is also for you with the consolidation of the cost of living allowance. Going back to the start of your negotiation period, PNM gives you 0.00. Kamala Prasad is going to give you 10% and the consolidation of COLA.
The period that we are talking about that starts with no less than 10% is the period 14 to 16, 17 to 19, the very same period that we rejected the offer of 4%. As I've said in the past, and I'll continue to say, we look 16, 17 to 19, the VAT with no less than 10% is the period 14 to 16, 17 to 19.
Now, the reason why I would have interrupted that feed is I wanted to pay attention to the switch. Let's start off with 4%, with 10%, and now you're joining 2 periods. You hear Falicia Thomas? That dishonest union leader? Yes, I said. You hear that statement? And months before, you was on a platform telling the people of Trinidad and Tobago that a vote for UNC is to start with no less than 10%. And now we are hearing you saying that we are going to join 2 periods? Man, you a waste a time. Lost all belly and all backbone because you align yourself with a government that you're supposed to keep in check. The union is there is to keep the government in check, not to agree when you're agreeing with them when they're doing good. But your only priority, Falicia Thomas, if you know, is better working condition and wage negotiation. But yet still, you put yourself on a board. I mean, you say it was called. So isn't that a breach of a protocol? Isn't the presidency of the PSA a full-time job? The people of Trinidad and Tobago, the people of this country in which would have negotiated their independence, and the union that would have stand up and say, hey, we could self-govern, that shaped the very Trinidad and Tobago that we are in today, have sold us out. And there is something that must be revealed here. But I will take my time and we will walk into this. We are going to walk. A matter of fact. Let me Director, what? A matter of fact, let me take my time and walk into this thing carefully.
Vote for the UNC is a vote that negotiations will start with no less than 10%.
That this 10% is also for you with the consolidation of the cost of living allowance. Going back to the start of your negotiation period, PNM give you 0.000. Kamala Prasad is going to give you 10% and the consolidation of COLA.
The period that we are talking about that starts with no less than 10% is the period 14 to 16, 17 to 19, the very same period that we rejected the offer of 4%. As I've said in the past and I'll continue to say, we look forward to no later than this budget, September, October, where workers can finally see that 10% offer placed on the table so that we could recommence negotiations at 10%.
Our commitment given to workers, they include among them, the Prime Minister have openly said, we will find a way to resolve all the negotiation as promised.
God willing, we keep our promises. God willing, we will keep our promise. Still working on it. Looking for money. If you have any, give us some. Thank you all.
After many of you would have gotten up, many of you that not accustomed voting, some of you that never vote in your life, some of you that would have been voting for a particular government and say, you know, survival over everything, and inflation is killing us. We drowning in inflation. Gas that we used to pay 100, we paying 200. Things that we used to go in the grocery and pay $5 for, we paying $10 and $15. Oil gone up, flour gone up, rice gone up, sugar, and all the things that we could have, our salary could have gone, we could have gone in the grocery and purchased all of these things gone up. Here comes the savior. Here comes the team of people that would have promised the entire Republic of Trinidad and Tobago that we will install back these leisures, these pleasures, these things that we are accustomed to, and only when you enter into office is maybe, is probably, is in a sense, is God's willing. But yet still, when you was standing up on the platform for election, you wasn't talking so at all. You was talking with certainty. You was talking with authority. Thousands of people would have gathered within the Etihad Stadium. That stadium in the Etihad Savannah. Thousands would have left all corners of Trinidad and Tobago because what you was selling, what you was promising, was what the people would have wanted. And just like that, CPEP closed down. Just like that, people started to get fired. Just like that, victimization started to take place. And every one of you are suffering in silence. Is this more worse than the PNM government that would have been there for 10 years? My God. My God.
Hey, y'all, come look at this.
Vote to the public servants to increases, to give you a fair wage for a fair day's work, to give you your back pay.
Wait for it. Here it comes. Almost there.
Are you also setting aside money for that 10% salary percentage of the promise bonus?
God willing, we keep our promises.
So in this fiscal year,
God willing, we will keep our promise. Still working on it.
To fund and finance all these things you have planned for the country.
We found the money and we did it.
A few moments later.
are you also setting aside money for that 10% salary percentage of the promise bonus?
God willing, we keep our promises.
So in this fiscal year,
God willing, we will keep our promise. Still working on it. Looking for money. If you have any, give us some. Looking for money. If you have any, give us some.
UNC. This is Josephine Charles, eh? I would like to tell you, I really pray and pray for all you more than I could even talk about. People that meet all over the place, what a well preferred for UNC. What I hear, them never give me nothing. Them never gave me nothing over here. UNC never gave me fucking nothing. I never even see who win to even pass inside the park race. Does it come here? I never see them. UNC already just control this whole area here, boy. UNC already control this whole area here, come UNC. Nobody could win them. Nobody could win them as UNC. And all they have no fucking money around there. The amount of African people, I'm telling you, this help all here, you know. Indian people, when they go for African, they say them Indian, then we go for PNN. They will love PNN. And the Africans go for UNC, and UNC, when they go in office, they treat them worse than fucking dog. They don't have to give nobody nothing, fucking nothing. You go for work, they give you fucking none. You go for a car to get grocery, fucking none. Prime Minister, you're upstairs there, really high upstairs there, right? Send down somebody down here in the office and check all them fuckers and them in the office. They sit down on them mother cunt and they don't help them fucking nothing. They help nobody. No fucking body. If you ask them for a grant to help out, not a fuck. Not even some grocery, nothing. It's a people who really fucking help. I don't care a fuck. I tell you, plenty African people, young people, who put up UNC there. What they helping on there? What they do for us, especially me too. Not even some fucking water in a motherfucking cup. You understand? What they ain't passing nobody. Oh God. But I didn't walk them and sweep out in the office, right? Look like clean up in the fucking office, right? Nothing. You ain't see a little wake up and catch a little fucking thing, right? Them in the office, them in the content and they fucking helping nothing. Give me your name.
You know, sometimes the truth You mustn't all die. When the technician would have sent that video to me, usually I would have said, boy, cut out the cussing in it. But sometimes we need to hear the reality of the situation. Hold on. I know we divert a little bit concerning this heist. That this 10% heist. But I need to lay the grounds before we go into that. Because it's not only the promise of this 10% that people get tied up with, the entire population. I know you go say, well, you know, that lady, you know, she's a old woman, she's senile. But I have a second video here to play this afternoon. A second video. A gentleman that have been very vocal, speaking about things in Trinidad and Tobago to the point that he have been advocating all the grounds. And this is the reason why the PNM, I don't understand it. Because people among platform, yes, the UNC with the election, but where the PNM, are they visible? Now, two things I want to take from this video here that is going on be played here again. I want you, the members, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, to open this and dissect the video for yourself.
Yeah, Mr. Alexander, you need... Yeah, Mr. Yeah, Mr. Alexander, you need... you want plenty all you. And this government needs to step up all you. No, I support all and I still support all you, but you see the fact that all you give all the number one, and when you call all you answering and all you replying, it looking shady. It looking really shady. And I didn't know, I wasn't one saying nothing about this SOE, I wasn't one saying nothing. I wasn't one saying nothing about the cancellation of the independence, but remember at the end of the day, is we, the public that vote for them, we saw the boss. And it are legislation, it are things that we could do, right, to make all go back to the poll early and let's be real. You understand, man? Let me be real as could be. It looking shady. I was only number one, and I still supporting only, but it ain't looking good.
I didn't say it. Now the clip that you would have just heard, or you give me your number before we call in, or we could have get in contact with you. PNM, listening. Listening. We give all your number from in the clip that would have just been played. We give all your number. We give all you give me all your number. We could have called all you before election. That is these same UNC activists who is now ministers have been reaching out to these social media influencers. They reach out to them. Where they see it? Where they see them? On social media. So when they're talking about the poor representation, or you have no game, or you're seeing people talking about things that is affecting them, and who you see reach out to them, these same ministers, and here what they tell them. Here what these ministers and them was telling them. Once all you vote win, how much people it have in your family? It at 10? Right. Tell them about win. Vote win. That is the kind of conversation that ministers know who was opposition leader before April 28, was getting in contact with the people on the ground and selling them hopes and dreams. And now the people of Trinidad and Tobago, they're starting to wake up concerning that. What happening? There are people now that ain't saying nothing because they was in close quarters with these ministers and them. They all feel there's a red riding out Bukawa. The wolf eat up Red Riding Hood grandmother and dress up in the clothes to lick up Red Riding Hood. And she say, but wait now. How your eye looking so? Your long claws. No, that is all better to see you with. People of Trinidad and Tobago, do not let the Lord God punish us for we being willingly blind. We were gifted with sight, with ears, with common sense. We seeing what going on. Within this whole 100 days, people going on the breadline. Money start to miss here. Money start to miss there. And the black man still dragging on the ground, following something that ain't leading no way, ain't going no way. This is a message here to the PDM people and them. To those on the top, the high-ranking officials and them that believe in this system and we must be apart from the country that we govern. The people is crying out. And wait. Don't reach out to them. Don't reach out to the one that is coming up on social media and saying we can't take this again. Don't reach out to them. Don't invest into the message. Don't invest and see what will happen. A spoon cannot taste soup. And there are many of you that is on watching this, that is engaging in this live, may not be able to grasp what is taking place here.
You understand, Alexander, you need, and you want plenty all here. And this government needs to step up all of it. No, I support all and I still support all but you see the fact that all of them go on number one, and when they call all in and sign, and all in replying, it is looking shady. It is looking really shady. And I don't know, I was one saying that more just SOE, I was one saying that. I was one saying that about the cancellation of the independence, but remember at the end of the day, if we, the public that vote for them, police all them us, and it has things that we could do, right, to make all go back to the poll and no, let's be real. You understand? Let's be real as could be. It is looking shady. I was all number one and I still supporting all them, but it is looking good.
It ain't looking good. It ain't looking good. But to the fanatics outside here that have prepared responses, where were you after these 9 years? Where were you? You're now coming out and say, you you could tabulate it. You're now coming out and say this. Where were you? The UNC now come in power. Let me give them all of these things are just excuses. If I listen to some of the dotish comments of many of you individuals, I went for license in my car. I went for license because I go wait until an accident happen then to pay. I went for a toilet in my house because I need it all the time. I go only wait to put a day when the toilet when I need to use the toilet. And these is some of the stupid responses that many of you is giving out to people, to logical thinking people outside here. Let me give them a chance to do what? To finish destroy Trinidad and Tobago? I go put on a roof on my house when rain start to fall because all them time and I don't need it. Man, want the hell with some of you, eh? The hell with some of you. And to some of you that is coming up here to talk, let me play this clip here with the now social media appointee of the UNC. I reach a point that I don't really care what people say either. Because criticizing people doesn't mean that you don't like them, you know. That is a concept that they add in to defend themselves and to continue doing foolishness. Let me play this clip. This here is Kurt Megu.
And shown the world that decency and principle is not dead in this country. But they tried to divide us by saying political tribalism and political divisions should keep you at home. But we should never let that division keep us from standing for principle. This is a very, very serious betrayal of trust that has happened today. 2 of the 3 highest ranking officials in the country, the President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago and the Chief Justice, yesterday expressed serious concerns about what happened in this matter. The President quoted the Bible. He talked about evil. He talked about princes scheming with judges. We must always be vigilant. This is how we defend our democracy. And we will see this through until the very end. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Megu. I would like to call Mr. David Abdullah to come to the mic.
That right there was Kurt Megu. I ain't faulting him, and I ain't gonna call him a hypocrite neither. He is now one of the #1 supporter of the UNC. And back then, he was displeased in what was going on in the UNC camp underneath Kamala Prasad Bisesa. And right now, the membership is concerned of what is taking place within the UNC camp. Just before election, hundreds of people would have resigned from the groups. South group, North group, plenty people would have resigned. And to the many fanatics that are outside here that is trying to tell me, Renison, what's going on with you? It's not that I don't give a damn concerning the statements that some of you are making in it, because some of you, two of us, many of you we are good friends. But we in Trinidad and Tobago must stand for something. And when we stand for something, the government, any government, must fall in line. Anytime, and I'm going to make a broad statement here. Anytime the government, any government, becomes out of hand, is because of you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And when I say that, I say all. So after this, we are going to get back to the main discussion. I just needed to let that out a little bit, that you could understand. Main discussion, let me go after this video here.
1 Peter chapter 3, verses 8 to 12. Finally, all of you, be like-minded, be sympathetic, love one another, be compassionate and humble. Do not repay evil with evil, or insult with insult. On the contrary, repay evil with blessing, because to this you were called, so that you may inherit a blessing. For whoever would love life and see good days must keep their tongue from evil and their lips from deceitful speech. They must turn from evil and do good. They must seek peace and pursue it. For the eyes of the Lord are on the righteous, and his ears are attentive to their prayers. But the face of the Lord is against those who do evil. Chapter 3, verses 8 to 12. Finally, all of you, be like-minded, be sympathetic, love one another, be compassionate and humble. Do not repay evil with evil, or insult with insult. On the contrary, repay evil with blessing, because to this you were called, so that you may inherit a blessing. For whoever would love life and see good days must keep their tongue from evil and their lips from deceitful speech. They must turn from evil and do good. They must seek peace and pursue it. For the eyes of the Lord are on the righteous, and his ears are attentive to their prayers. But the face of the Lord is against those who do evil. 1 Peter chapter 3, verses 8 to 12. Finally, all of you, be like-minded, be sympathetic, love one another, Be compassionate and humble. Do not repay evil with evil or insult with insult. On the contrary, repay evil with blessing, because to this you were called, so that you may inherit a blessing. For whoever would love life and see good days must keep their tongue from evil and their lips from deceitful speech. They must turn from evil and do good. They must seek peace and pursue it. For the eyes of the Lord are on the righteous, and his ears are attentive to their prayers. But the face of the Lord is against those who do evil. 1 Peter chapter 3, verses 8 to 12. Finally, all of you, be like-minded, be sympathetic, love one another, be compassionate and humble. Do not repay evil with evil or insult with insult. On the contrary, repay evil with blessing, because to this you were called, so that you may inherit a blessing. For whoever would love life and see good days must keep their tongue from evil and their lips from deceitful speech. They must turn from evil and do good. They must seek peace and pursue it. For the eyes of the Lord are on the righteous, and his ears are attentive to their prayers. But the face of the Lord is against those who do evil.
The face of the Lord is against those that do evil. I hope the Prime Minister understands that. You see, spreading a false narrative about people. Lying is just one thing. But a false perception, giving the impression, a false impression about anything, that is also a lie. And what do I mean by that? Let me tell you a false impression. Let Ms. Bisesa know what is a false impression. The honest person that is more stupid than David Naked. Matter of fact, let me leave that alone. This year is a false impression.
Garbage dumped. Who dumped that ghost? Is it not human beings dumping in their own neighborhood? I just said to the AG, we have to get back to little ones and lock up those people who dumping garbage all over the country. I saw another video. A man walking outside his own front yard and saying, look at grass, look at grass, look at grass. Does it front your own house? If you cannot clean in front of your own house, heaven help us. Some of us have become too lazy and greedy. Cut the grass in front of your own home. Dump your garbage in the beach and dump or other dumps. Don't drive up on somebody's road and dump in garbage. We are human beings in Trinidad and Tobago, not animals. So clean up your waste. And AG, get the law working. Let's get the little ones out there. And as the AG always tells us, he says, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you. And I'm coming for you. Whoever you may be, dumping all over the country. This is not a dump. So get your act together.
To the intellectuals that are outside here, I know there are many of you, You didn't find something was wrong with that statement. You didn't find that it had some truth in it. Yes, there are people that dump thing outside. CPEP does pass in front of your house. Yes, CPEP pass in front of your house, and CPEP clean plenty of the spaces in front of people's houses. But does CPEP, or is CPEP, does clean in front of people's houses alone? And here it is, you have stumbled on the truth. CPEP just don't clean in front of people's houses. They are all at the side of the road. I mean, there are many places that I went and it's bush here, bush there. But yet still, we hear the Prime Minister is trying to sell off CPEP as a company that cleans in front of people's houses alone. And if that is the case, Trinidad and Tobago, we are witnessing a person that is either two things. Is either the deceitful and wicked, or they don't know what they're about. You see, there is a difference between not knowing and stupidity. When CPEP was initialized, Kamla Prasad Bisesa was in opposition. So this bill would have been brought in Parliament concerning the whole construction of CPEP. And she know what it would have entailed, because that was her job, to scrutinize the government. And if back then you didn't know what taking place now, it's either you don't know that you was only in opposition trying to take down Pandey, or you was or something. What going on with simple information? Why are you selling a narrative that is not true? Other ministers within government would have said CPEP, the original purpose. I hear Barry Padat say it. He said it was a program not for people to stay there and live there. That was the concept of CPEP. So how members of the government could allow you to mount a platform? I don't know how your speech just be written by certain individuals and they incorporate that within your speech. That CPEP people just clean grass in front of people's house. Or you hearing, or you understanding what's taking place here? Or is it because Kamla Prasad Bisesa is going down in age and Alzheimer's started kicking? Trinidad and Tobago, and by extension the world. This was the main topic here today, and we intend to keep with the main topic here this afternoon. So the topic is the 10% heist. And we would have walked you through certain definitions that we needed to take hold of. Definitional retreat is making a statement and then retreating when challenged. Hedging is making a statement with an escape route inside, and we would have went through all of that for you to understand. Hyperbolic discounting is based on our animalistic nature. Mankind, we that ought to be logical, we are not so logical. We are not that smart enough. We have the capacity to be smart, but many of us is not smart. And let me tell you something. We are run by two base mammalian instincts. That is running towards pleasure or running away from pain. And hyperbolic discounting is based on just that. The statement that would have been said, a half a loaf is better than none, would have came from hyperbolic discounting. And the reason why I keep on ponging it within your brain is that I want you to understand what is hyperbolic discounting. Very critical information before we go on. Hyperbolic, we have to go into it. Yes, I put it up on the screen because this information is critical, it's real critical that you must understand this thing before we go further here this evening. Right, so hyperbolic discounting. Let me see this on the bigger screen. Hyperbolic discounting is a behavioral economics concept that describes how people tend to prefer smaller immediate rewards over larger delayed rewards, leading to inconsistency in decision making. Hyperbolic discounting is a model of time inconsistency decision making where individuals disproportionately favored immediate rewards over future ones. So the many of you that would have reached out to me on when we would have done the first video, some of you would have said, hold on there a second, some of you would have said that Falicia Thomas 10% over the 2 periods is better than nothing. Right, so hyperbolic discounting. So this video here, and I want to play it uninterrupted.
Today's episode.
Members of the Cabinet held with Natok and Jayton, Public Services Association President Falicia Thomas recalled the campaign promise made by the UNC and its coalition of interests before they won the 2025 general election.
The period that we are talking about that starts with no less than 10% is the period 14 to 16, 17 to 19, the very same period that we rejected the offer of 4%.
A reference to an offer made by the former PNM administration to public servants for collective bargaining periods from 2014 to 2019.
So, as I've said in the past and I'll continue to say, we look forward to no later than this budget, September, October, where workers can finally see that 10% offer placed on the table so that we could recommence negotiations at 10%.
The PSA's president was very clear in her message to the new UNC-led government. At the head table was the former
So ladies and gentlemen, to those that would have missed what have been said there, the union leader, Falicia Thomas, would have said to you that negotiation for the two period 2015, 2014 to 2016 to 2019, Amatafa, is 10%. And during the campaign trail, she would have said that we will begin at 10%. What is most deceitful about this union leader is that she is engaging in something that she would have condemned the prior government about. And I wouldn't say Sheen, I will say Leroy Batiste, the now Minister of Labour, would have accused the government of something that Falicia Thomas is now doing to the membership. And through naturally human behavior, many of you in the public domain are run by our animalistic nature and is willing to give Falicia Thomas a pass for her deceitfulness. Plenty of you can remember, you know. But this is what this program here for today. This is what this program here for today. To bring certain things to your remembrance. So that what you are seeing there, that is partially on your screen there, concerning update for negotiations, was issued by the then leader of the public service of Trinidad and Tobago, Leroy Baptiste. And in that publication, Leroy Baptiste would have reminded the membership that there is something that is taking place with the government, that they are trying to clump two periods together. And he would have took the government to court, in which Justice Ramcharan would have ruled in favor of the union. For those that are outside here, watch the signature on this document. And are challenging all union leaders concerning this. And let Leroy Baptiste come out and lie. Let Falicia Thomas come out and lie to you. Let them come out and lie. Look at this documentary, Trinidad and Tobago. Today, the judicial review hearing of the High Court took place virtually before Ramcharan, whereby the association challenged the special tribunal decision to make a 10-year awards of outstanding wage negotiation. That is from 2014 to 2023, even though the period under dispute is 2014 to 2016 and 2017 to 2019. As you recall, the council of the association voted with a 77% majority of a special general council meeting held on the 2nd June 2023, whereby instructing the association to file for judicial review of the special tribunal decision to cluster these two things together. During the judicial review hearing today, our legal team, senior counsel, led by senior counsel Douglas Mendez, presented a strong legal argument that will challenge the special tribunal decision to make an award for 10 years, even though only 6 years were under dispute. Justice Ramcharan written judgment is scheduled to be delivered today on April 8, 2024. Please note that the dispute at the special tribunal is still pending. The the overcome of judicial review proceedings. We thank you for your continual support as we seek a just and fair outcome in the best interests of the public sector. And you see, Leroy Baptiste, this was dated the 20th of February 2024. So what you would have seen there on your screen is evident. So I would leave it up for some of you to see, concerning that many of you outside there have Google, or you could Google it and see for yourself. So when I am telling you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, that this 10% is a heist for the union, or to the benefit of the union official, this honeymoon period, this honeymooning that the union and the UNC is having, is not to the benefit of none of you, you know. Because you are seeing Mark Saunders on a board, Falicia Thomas on a board, you are seeing many other union officials there on a board, and now they are telling you, after that negotiations is going to start with 10%, now they want to come 2 periods together and say, we are going to give all you 10% over a period. And when all you're done, all you have the audacity to tell the people of Trinidad and Tobago to support Oya? To support who? To support you? And Falicia Thomas? A total disgrace to the post that you are functioning on. Climbing up on the back and on the sweat of workers to serve who? For your own bidding. He is a disgraceful president. Hyperbolic discounting is what is going on take place. And the many of you outside here are going to war with all your workers. Because some of you go say, nah, that ain't making sense, I ain't taking that. And some of you are going to say, you know, the period of time, you know, the PNM and take, let me take that, but that is not logic. That is dotishness. That is foolishness. That is encouraging the union on their conquests to obtain riches and avaricistic desires to gain at all your expense. Or you are telling the union leaders, all right, it's okay to victimize us. It's okay to lie to us. It's okay to align ourselves with a political entity. And when we see them going wrong, don't say nothing because you know we have to get this 10%. You would have just seen the document I would have just played for you. You would have just seen the documentation.
Give vote to the public servants that increases, to give you a fair wage for fair day's work, to give you your back pay.
Wait for it. Here it comes. Almost there.
God willing, we keep our promises. God willing, we will keep our promise. Still working on it.
And finance, all these things you have planned for the country.
We found the money, we did it.
A few moments later.
God willing, we keep our promises. God willing, we will keep our promise. Still working on it. Looking for money. If you have any, give us some. Looking for money. If you have any, give us some. Thank you.
A vote for the UNC is a vote that negotiations will start with no less than 10%.
That this 10% is also for you with the consolidation of the cost of living allowance. Going back to the start of your negotiation period, PNM gives you 0.00. Kamala Prasad is going to give you 10% and the consolidation of COLA.
The period that we are talking about that starts with no less than 10% is the period 14 to 16, 17 to 19, the very same period that we rejected the offer of 4%. As I've said in the past and I'll continue to say, we look forward to no later than this budget, September, October, where workers can finally see that 10% offer placed on the table so that we could recommence negotiations at 10%.
Our commitment given to workers, they include among them the Prime Minister have openly said, we will find a way to resolve all the negotiation as promised.
God willing, we keep our promises. God willing, we will keep our promise. Still working on it. Looking for money. If you have any, give us some. Thank you all.
So, over the two period, the now Union President, Falicia Thomas, is telling you we go give you 10 over the two period. And in concordance to what you are now seeing on the screen, that would have been dated in February 2024. We are seeing a contradiction concerning the principles that is now being spewed on platforms. And we must ask ourselves the question, Trinidad and Tobago, was these union leaders for you, citizens of this republic? Were they for you? Here it is. according to this what you are seeing here on the screen, this year, they would have challenged the then government to not to clump two negotiation periods up together. And now you are hearing Falicia Thomas telling you the membership. Let we accept this thing. That was she saying. The period that she are talking about, but she forget. A liar have no memory, but she forgetting where the prior president of the PSA did challenge the government on in just 1 year ago. Just 1 year ago. And this not only measuring how far Falicia Thomas is willing to go to fulfill she agenda. This showing is spelling out her great incompetence. To lead who astray, not me. I's not a member, it's to lead you astray, the membership of the PSA. And if you, the membership, do not band together and get Falicia Thomas out of that seat, out of being a president, the PSA is going to fall apart. And just on the verge of election, of the PSA election, I would have interviewed a gentleman here that I believe that should have been the president of the PSA. From what I was hearing, he was saying to you, the members of the public, but oil like populist decision. Argumentum ad novitum. It knew. So you want, you know it's songing good. And she's appealing to all your fancy and all your greed. And not to the future and the longevity of the union. That all you run, all you voting. Or you voting an individual. That is now, you're now seeing how inconsistent that this individual is and how hypocrite she is. And the 30 pieces of silver that she sell out the PSA for. And now you telling membership, you telling the people, you telling the whole entire PSA union that let we accept this for this period. Man, waste of friggin' time. Waste of time. How you could accept this? How you could accept this? How you could accept a union leader that is inconsistent, that is on a board to serve who interests? The government put people on board because they are placed there to serve their interests. It's to be the eyes and the ears of the government. So when you have a master that is oppressive to workers and you serving them, and these same workers elect you as a president to serve their interests in the public service, you are in breach of the very constitution that you sign up on. All for what? People of Trinidad and Tobago, people of this great republic, there is a devious plan that taking place within the PSA union. And there are a lot of people that ain't go say anything. And let me tell you what it is. There are people that come to me directly and say that they're in Big U. And no, NUGFW, sorry. They're in NUGFW and they vote in the election, in the PSA election. Have you ever seen, other than people that is chosen by the presidents in these union, the second slip, have you ever seen them win? Why it is that nobody cannot win that election if they're not working WASA? Yes, I say that there is a correlation with people that is working WASA and the presidency of the PSA. So this 10% heist that is being perpetrated on you, members of the public, is being done over a span of time. It's part of what is called the negotiation strategy. The union leaders accuse the government to keep them at the negotiating table to frustrate them. They span it over a period and they are using logic on you, but to their own extent, that they negotiate over these long periods. So this heist didn't just take place one day and they execute it within a month time. It is in current execution. And I am telling you, the citizens of this great Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, if Oya do not come together and stand up as one, that both African and Indian people is going to suffer within the future. Because you are seeing currently that there is an ethnic cleansing that is going on with these state boards and them. And when it is people go to the polls and vote out a government, there are people that are going to remember what take place. And Trinidad and Tobago, the future black people and Indo people, is compromised by some of the actions that is being taken place here by this present government. Because when people were sent home in this whole CPEP Malou, it was people of both races. And if you are seeing a government now that is telling you about these PNM operatives doing certain things within certain ministries and we getting them out, regardless of who they is, we getting them out. If we had to pay them off, we pay them off. If we had to put people on the breadline for how much months they can't buy the books, we go give out 10 ampers, 100 ampers, and it's 10,000 people that really need in need. Some of you getting sick of what is being done right about now in Trinidad and Tobago concerning, but you're saying, boy, let me hold on because we would have pledged our support to the previous to this government here, and let me see what will take place. What are you waiting on? What are you waiting to happen? What are you waiting to see? And no one person could do it. It takes all of you. The first thing that needs to be done here in this country, the public service needs to change the head of that service. Not somebody that Leroy Batiste put. The membership must stand up and say they're not taking what is taking place here now. There is a reason for tripartism. There is a reason for that. And this alignment, this unholy alignment between the union, the public service union, this alignment with their employers is unholy and is unheard of. No way in the world you are going to see these things taking place. But the avaricistic desires of certain individuals at any cost, they can't help it. They don't care if people see them. They see their name published as a board member. They didn't care about that. When the PNM people and them was eating, so what happened? Ain't folks? We fail Trinidad and Tobago. And we are seeing, we are witnessing, we are experiencing the vendetta of our government on the population. We stand together. For the 9 years, we would have protests in Port of Spain. We'd have marched through the cities. We would have entered social media, TikTok, WhatsApp, YouTube, Facebook, and we would have speak out concerning the many injustice that is taking place now. It's not too late to pick up the sword and do just that again. Lies have speed, but truth have endurance. And even if they succeed with their threats, because me not a drug man, I never smoke in my life. I occasionally drink, and that is something that is far in between. Don't be on no block, live around the block. But my parents teach me, instill values that up till this day cannot deny. And nobody could tell me shit is ice cream. No activist could convince me and put out videos after videos on social media about a reality, about a perception that I am not seeing. You know why I see it when I turn wrong and I see the actions of these government, of the government ministers and them? I see in the people tears. I see in people broken dreams being smashed in front of the face. All to seek out a political vendetta to lick up citizens that had any alignment or attachment to the prior government. That is why I see it. When I go San Fernando, I see people filling up the parks, homeless. I see people every day fighting for a job. Still, I see the system that is made to serve us turning around and whipping us. That is what I am seeing here in Trinidad and Tobago. And I'm seeing the union leaders sell out for 30 pieces of silver, a board position, a curry duck, and a cold stag in the Hilton. And my people, Trinidad and Tobago, my friends, family, or you need to wake up. Villagers, or you know me, or you see me throughout social media all the time, I would have never lead none of you astray. Good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago. My name is Renison Jeffrey, and this is the Workers' Rights Platform. We are broadcasting live on the Workers' Rights Network. And what was said here and done here today on this platform, there is somebody outside here that needs this information forwarded to them. I know when we will be on again, because right about now, there are things that is taking place with me. I'd rather be a little way off the radar. But the 10% heist, a matter of fact, I keep saying heist, it is in current execution. And we are seeing union leaders after union leaders selling all your dreams. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, Trinidad and Tobago. Or you're sleeping. Politics demands, our democracy demands a politician who will stand on principles, who will stand on justice, who will stand on commitment. That is what democracy demands. And if any of you are seeing that currently, or you just say, and I go stop. But other than that, once the cries of the people reach up to my ears, I have no other choice than to respond within this manner. Let God be true and everyone a liar. Thanks for watching, and we will inform you again when we are doing a live on this magnitude. Thanks for watching.
This song is dedicated to all my sons and daughters through the four corners of the earth. My sons and my daughters, to you I plead. Watch, don't get no horrors, but please take heed. I know you don't want no sermon, but my admonition is to guard you against all the evils of life that create strife and destroy life. Walk cautiously, children, be alert. Because you have an enemy that's roaming the earth. I know you're young and restless, but you don't have to be careless. You see, sober thinking leads on to righteousness, to happiness, spiritual bliss. That's why I tell you this. Watch out, my children. Watch out, my children. It have a fella called Lucifer with a bag of white powder, and he don't want to powder your face, but to bring shame and disgrace to the human race. Now we sing it again. Watch out, my children. Watch out, my children. It have a fella called Lucifer with a bag of white powder, and he don't want to powder your face, but to bring shame and disgrace to the human race. I give you my counsel because I want to see all you young people live righteously. What you feed your mind with forms your characteristics and shape the path that you must walk tomorrow. Darkness or glow, joy or sorrow, that's why I'm concerned. So watch out, my children. Watch out, my children. Yeah, yeah. It have a fella called Lucifer with a bag of white powder, and he don't want to powder your face, but to bring shame and disgrace to the human race. To all my sons and daughters in Germany, pass auf, meine Kinder. Pass auf, meine Kinder. Da ist jemand, der heißt Lucifer, hat eine Schule mit weißem Puder. Aber will dein Gesicht nicht pudern, denn bringt den Menschen nur Schlechtes. Oh, you're young and your future is ahead of you. Right or wrong, sweet or sour, depends on what you do. Taking the wrong direction will drain your constitution and promote mental chaos and confusion. Then corruption to the inner man, and that is not God's plan. Cuidado, mis hijos, to my Spanish children. Cuidado, mis hijos. Hay un hombre que se llama Lucifer con una bolsa de polvo blanco, y él no quiere formar tu cara, pero para traer pena y desgracia para la raza humana. To my French children, attention mes enfants,
Attention mes enfants,
attention mes enfants,
attention mes enfants.
Il y a quelqu'un
appelé Lucifer avec un sachet de poudre blanche. Il ne veut pas saupoudrer vos visages, mais apporter honte et détresse à la race humaine.
To my East Indian children, देखो मेरे बच्चा लोगों, देखो मेरे बच्चा लोगों, एक इंसान जैसा शैतान है, उसका पर है टाइलर पाउडर का, और दूसरों को पाउडर नहीं लगाता है, मनुष्यता का नाम पर ये एक बदनुमा दबा है. Watch out, my children. Watch out, my children. It have a fella called Lucifer with a bag of white powder, and he don't want to powder your face, but to bring shame and disgrace to the human race.
Anywhere you turn, somebody chanting to we. Somebody promising joy.
but somebody promising a human rights, while somebody threatening to put out their lights. The Montreal full with little Trinidad boys, a bullet start to whine and put an end to the joy. Now they lying call for the mama to mourn. The Nike gone, the gold teeth gone. You see they want their pocket full with blue silk. They want the statue drinking full cream milk. The little red silk is not their true friend. The blue one have two extra knots on the end. So a tag on the toes, now they take it to hell. But look where we reach, well, I hear a madman born. As he spread out on a wall, he said, this is it, this is it, this is it, I've been hit. No time to give up, brother, no time to quit. Was the chant of a madman in this tale from a strange land. Maybe the chant of the madman is the only salvation. I say the chant of a madman in this tale from a strange land. Maybe the chant of the madman, Lord, is the only solution. Anyway you turn, somebody chanting to we, vote for we and we go set you free. Somebody promising natural law, fly like a yogi, end all the war, seek inner peace, end all the pain. The same woman promising to go down again. Somebody promising to run all the bread. Somebody pushing a world-class head. Somebody clean out the weed well fast, but somebody letting the cocaine pass. Somebody promised to abolish the tax. Somebody promised to kill with the tax. Somebody promised to clean up the land, but in this clean land, rats still killing man. We bright little youths going to waste. Somebody binge the smile on their face. Somebody take one love off the shelf. Then the one love boys start to sell out themselves. Somebody going to end all this talk about race, but they can't tell me that with a straight face. Big men dying, the crime can't solve. A madman rant is my only resolve. I hear the madman call as he lie on a wall. He said, this is it, this is it, this is it, I've been hit. But no time to give up, brother, no time to quit. A chant of a madman in this tale from a strange land. It was a chant